everyone, it's Georgie. I'm back in 2020 and I'm standing in my very own reptile room and I'm looking at it and y'all, it is gorgeous. So I figured I would start the new series, if you could call it that, with showing y'all my reptile room. So come on, let's go see it. Recording this, my cat is down here banging on the double doors to the office space. I like that we have these double doors because it keeps our cats, our 4 cats, out of this region in general, so my fiance can have his computer all to himself without having to worry about cats climbing and sitting on the keyboard or knocking over energy drinks or anything like that. And plus it's another barrier to keep them from getting into the reptile room because they will open cages and pull creatures out. Luckily we haven't had anything like that happen in over 2 years, but you know, I like the reassurance of having 2 doors in between them and my reptiles as a reassurance that they're not gonna get to them. So you may have noticed that we are not in the apartment anymore, and that was part of the reason why I made a long break in between the last video and now. They're not always the most understanding when they find a room full of various scaly creatures. A lot of people get freaked out by that, so I was beginning to get a little bit paranoid about being fined or whatnot, so I kind of quit recording at home for that reason. But now that we're in our own home that we own ourselves, we are free to have as many animals as we want. I feel safe again, so I'm ready to show and I guess exhibit all of my creatures for y'all to look at. So here we go. Right on the other side of this door behind me is the reptile room. Awkward. Oh, fudge, I forgot to move the trash can. Hold on, let me redo. Obviously, first walking in, you see this gorgeous Navajo rug on the ground that I inherited from my grandparents. It's a very special, authentic rug and kind of inspired me when I first started out with Aztec exotics, as Aztec leopards, to incorporate some of the Aztec patterns into my business because I was super passionate about them and had them on everything, literally like my clothes and everything that I did. So I kind of wanted to make that my little theme. So as you come into the room and you turn to the right, you see all of my rack systems. This is where all of my leopard geckos live. My leopard geckos started everything, so they deserve their own area. Racks like this here and this here are empty because those tubs are out to be scrubbed and heavy duty cleaned while they don't have any occupants. And while we are waiting on the 2020 hatchlings to come out. Nice cute little decor. Yes, very nice. Here's me and Nicholas. I love him. This is just a little chart. I've got my vitamin supplements, Vionate and Osteoform SA. I've got a little bromeliad here, one of the few plants I've managed not to kill. I'm learning about growing plants. Awkward. This here is my adult rack. Every single name tag you see that has a pink sticker means that that animal is ovulating, and then if they've been bred, I have the name of the male that they've been bred to on their tag and the date at which they were bred or the date at which they're expecting their next clutch to drop. So I wrote the name of the male that they've been paired with in pen, and then the date in pencil, because obviously that's going to be changing as they lay throughout the season. And then I put blue dots on my males, just so that's a little easier to find them, because the majority of my collection is female. Next we come over to the grow out slash hatchling slash for sale racks. So this whole middle system here is a combination of grow outs from 2019 or 2018, or females that are taking an off season right now that need to put on some more weight before next season. And then next door to that, this is a section of tubs that are being cleaned while they're empty. And then this whole section are leftover from 2019 that were for sale and that are being grown out now and will be offered for sale later. In this little screen cage, I am keeping my pair of Anolis sagri, also known as the common brown anole or Bahamian anole. There's my big male back behind there. They're very flighty. They've learned that I'm not going to eat them, that I feed them, but they're still not a like pickup type pet. They're more of a observation pet. Anolis sagri is also invasive to the area I live in, which is, South Texas. The green anole, also known as the Carolina anole, is native to our area and is being out-competed by the brown anole. So if your kids are interested in catching lizards and wanting to keep one as a pet, tell them catch the brown one. Don't catch the green one. Let the green one stay. I've got a nice little pair from a friend of mine's yard, and they're just real dark in color, so I'm gonna keep them together and see if I can make dark, possibly black anoles with them, just for fun. I've got a little artwork that I made myself with some trinkets and plants. Over here we got this gorgeous piece of artwork by Emily Burke that I got at an expo. It is still in the wrapper because I have not bought a frame for it and I don't want to mess it up until I get in a frame. And then also we've got some golden pothos, one of the few plants I can't kill. And also in this room it stays around 76, 78 to 80 degrees. So all the plants I have in here have to have a thick, waxy cuticle. Otherwise it just gets too hot and they wilt and they lose too much water and they just don't do well in here. So I've got this nice little snake plant, and I've got ivy, or the Pothos, or Pothos, or however you say it. Calico Project offspring. I named her Lucky because she has a horseshoe right on her nose. She is actually a result of line breeding Calico to one of his own daughters to try and get more of his rosette spots, which it worked. She's got quite a few on her head there. Kind of lost the orange pigment in it, which makes sense because there's a lot more hyperexanthic in this animal versus others from the Calico Project, so you kind of lose that orange, you get more yellow. But she's really pretty and healthy. It is okay to line breed, or if it's done incorrectly, it's called inbreed. Leopard geckos. In the wild, they live in colonies, and it's a very similar social dynamic to that of like packs of or prides of lions, where one male guards his harem of females and breeds with them, and then the babies of those that are male get kicked out while the females stay, and then intruding males will come and compete for the harem. So it is, and they're tiny creatures. They don't travel too far out in the wild in their groups, so it's okay to breed relatives within like a generation or two, but you really don't want to do anything more than that. You start getting too narrow of a gene pool and you start getting deformities. I wouldn't advise line breeding with any of your simple recessive, simple dominant, simple genetic traded animals, because there are already some degree of line breeding in those to prove them out. But for polygenic projects like tangerines and things like that. You got a pretty strong lineage with those, so a little bit's fine. Everything's okay in moderation. This is like what I'm visualizing for the calico project, except I would like to turn these pattern markings into little rosettes if possible, but her color, her distribution of pattern, everything is pretty on par. She's good looking. I haven't named her yet, so if you want to come up with a name, that would be helpful. Not Callie though, I already have a Callie. This is my last to show you of, woof, this is Lelo. Such a mild name for a sassy gecko. Lelo is named Lelo because she has a yellow, instead of a carrot tail, a yellow tail. Remember how I said with the hyperxanthics, yellow is characteristic to be brought out more with them? She's a good example of that. She is watching my thumb. Then you continue around to the other side of the door. Hello. Down at the bottom, we've got my incubators for my leopard gecko eggs that are in incubation right now. We have my crested geckos and my Boronia Gramineae located on this shelf, and then some storage up at the top. This big dude is one of my main breeder males. I haven't actually bred him yet, but he comes from Altitude Exotics. He is a confetti line. He has both black and red spots, and he is just covered in them. It looks like he's going into shed right now. He is not fired up all the way. Normally when he's fired down, he's like a cream khaki color, and when he is fired up, he is a brilliant red. And his name is Pico. Next door, we have the lovely Boronia Gramineae. I used to have a pair of these, but unfortunately, I lost my female. She didn't make it. They're not an easy species to take care of by any means, so it could have been something I did, it could have been just something with her, but I just have the male now, and his name is Syla, and I do plan to get him a new female partner in the future. Next to Syla's screen terrarium, we have this lovely Aztec version of Exoterra's terrarium. And there's a familiar face. It's Mr. Chili. He is actually cohabiting in here with a red harlequin female. I've not 100% decided her name. I've been thinking about calling her Fuego though. In these two tubs, I've got two young crested geckos that I'm growing out. Next door is an empty aquarium. That's where Chili used to live. And then next to that is Leche's. The glare is awful, I'm sorry. And it looks like he is napping right now because I don't see him. Want to see what's inside the incubator? Ta-da! Eggs for days. There's actually another stack of 6 under that one. They coming, people, they coming. Next door to the lovely display rack, I've got some terrariums. Up top is Shelly, the leopard tortoise. Next to Shelly is Syla the snake, who's actually out and about right now, so we'll get some good footage of her. And then at the very bottom, we have Illyria, the bearded dragon. And in this little purple critter keeper here is another set of Anola sagrii, the brown anoles. Those I collected out of my new front yard that have very bold stripes. So I'm gonna see if I can make some bold striped anoles with them. I pulled Shelly out of her hide so y'all could see her. She's got a really gorgeous shell. I'm not for certain whether or not Shelly is actually a female or a male. I kind of have suspicions that Shelly is actually a male, but for now, her name is Shelly and I refer to her as her, and she's fabulous. Shelly's favorite things to do include sleeping, eating greens, and pooping in her food and her water. I soak her daily and give her a little spray down just to make sure she stays hydrated, and that's normally when she passes her bowel movement of the day. Even though she's a tortoise and slow, she's a go-getter. She doesn't let it slow her down. Nope, she keeps on going. Shelly's downstairs neighbor is Syla the snake. Syla snake. Isn't she beautiful? She is the most friendly, sweetest snake of all. She is a still growing mystic potion ball python. She got a dirty neck right now. Look how thick she is. Look at those wrinkles. I think I'm making her fat. She's my only snake, don't judge. And then at the ground level, we have Illyria the bearded dragon, who is not cooperating as usual. Oh, you're dirty. No. Look how pretty you are. I'm just trying to show you out. Why you always gotta fight the current, man. She puffy cause she mad. Whatever, you run around while I was cleaning all day yesterday, and did you show any gratitude for all the hornworms I gave you? No. This is the gratitude I get. Okay, go on. Look at her and her majestic pancake. After having Val, and she is my very first bearded dragon I've ever had. She is a 0, which is like a morph I have been oogling at forever, and they finally got to where I could afford them. So I got her as my first dragon. Little did I know about their special personalities. I'm still looking for a mate for her. But after having had her and her being my very first dragon, I've decided I don't want a whole bunch of beardies. I'm planning to just get her a mate, and those will be my 2 dragons, and I'll have clutches from them occasionally, and that'll be that. So I'm planning to look for her I'm very particular. I want a leatherback whiplet male. That's only a possible het for 0. I don't want to confirm het because I want the lines to be strong. If possible, I would like to produce quad hets. Yes, it's gonna be your boyfriend. And I would really like leatherback just to you know, keep it interesting. I love her scales and I love how beautiful she looks, but man, she is rough to handle. She gives me scratches all the time. And I don't notice it until later. It's not like it's painful or anything, but I would like to hold a dragon that feels like a nice one. That's gonna be your Steven. Yeah. If y'all have seen Your Highness, the bearded dragon that is in that movie, his name is Steven, and so we've always said we wanted a Steven, so he's out there. We just gotta find him, huh, Val? I was done talking about Val, but then she did this like look over the shoulder pose, and I know she's just like eating it up. Ooh, get it, girl. Strike them poses. You's a beautiful, majestic beast. Yes, you are. Can you see them? There's one. That's the boy. He's not even the best striped one. Where are the girls at? Where them girls at? If you happen to have the Anola sacri in your area, they all start out with a dorsal stripe as a baby, but it kind of starts to go away and look diamond edge shaped on the males as they grow and mature, and the females will keep their dorsal stripe. Fun fact. So if you see a smaller, well-defined dorsal stripe Anola sacri running around, there's a pretty good bet that is a female. And then you continue along my tapestry wall, which I intended to use for filming videos and whatnot, kind of as a backdrop, plus just to fill in this empty space here. Here we have a lovely storage closet, but as lovely as that is, we have the lovely ferret cage. And here he has an adorable Mimsy. Oh my gosh, these guys are a lot of work. I know they're adorable and it's so tempting to like impulse buy these guys at Petco. If you're going the Marshall ferret route, well, let me tell you, they live a while and they are messy. They eat very special ferret food. This is the Wysong Epigen 90 digestive support. It is expensive pound per pound compared to like cat food and dog food. So here's Mimsy down here at the bottom. He's got his extra large litter pan because he's a messy boy. And then he's got a little basket over here of his toys. Pippa is in their dig box right now. You can see her legs like struck up in the air. She's like in a little half donut shape, sleeping, and you're looking sleepy too, mister. These guys are about 6 months apart in age. Mimsy is the baby. Oh, he's so sleepy right now. He's so sleepy, Mims. His full name is Mimela. And then Pip in the box up there is Pipperone. She goes by Pip, so it's Mimela and Pippa, but they go by Mimsy and Pip. And they have grand adventures together. We are looking to get a third boy. I want one that's a little bit darker, but I still want to keep with my silver, because I just love them. They're so pretty. We want to get another boy just because Mimsy's my first boy. I've had a female ferret in the past, so Pippa's my second female. But after having the boys, I really love their personality, even though they're bigger and messier. I just really get along with them, and he's such a cuddle bug. I love my Pippa, but she's always busy and got things to do and doesn't want to sit still and doesn't want to be held. Or Mr. Mimsy here just loves the attention. And he's just a big squishy lump, but has a big yawn. Plus he likes to roughhouse, and Pippa, like I said, is busy and has things to do, and she just ignores him and pulls through to run around the house, and he wants someone to roughhouse with, and I feel like another brother would be perfect. I'm looking for one to adopt, but luckily in the area I'm in, they're very hard to find ferrets for adoption. Looking past the ferret cage, we have my beautiful windowsill with my money tree, my sago palm, and then in here is a little growing spider plant. I still have to get a pot for it. I've got a little succulent, a framed little thing of my first season of breeding is 2015, and I hatched 14 geckos. I've got a little succulent pot here growing, my lizard that my parents gave me for Christmas, another succulent pot, and an aloe vera, which is also succulent. So in this room, because it's so warm, the things that grow the best are succulents, bromeliads, ivy, pretty much anything that can handle humidity and heat. That pretty much concludes the tour today. Let me know what you liked, if you have any questions about upcoming projects, or if you're interested in offspring that we already have, or just let me know what you enjoyed, what you'd like to see more of, if you have any questions of any upcoming projects. Nick and I are quite happy and getting settled here in our home, and this whole quarantine at home thing has actually been kind of great. I was like, okay, this is the opportunity to start making videos again and get back into that, so here we are. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. That would be really awesome. Thank you to the loyal 210 followers I've got right now that have followed me even though I haven't posted in a year. Thank you so much. Looking into Patreon and getting that started. I've got some different packages kind of to start trying to grow this again, make this a business, especially with everything going on right now. Stay tuned for more. I shouldn't poke you. That's not. Thank you, heart. Except I can't make it because my other hand's holding the camera. Okay, bye.